Well, hello and welcome to another review. I haven't done one of these in a little bit of a minute, so hopefully I don't forget what I need to talk about in the game and stuff. But this one is obviously on Still Wakes the Deep. By the time this is coming out, this should be the video right after my part 4. So I'm obviously done with the series. All the parts are out there, so go watch them before you watch this, if you want to, that is. And also, before we get into it, there's going to be spoilers in this, obviously. It's a review. I'm going to be dabbling in some spoilers. There's going to be some little spoilers, some big spoilers. So just if you want to go into the game fresh and raw and don't want to be spoiled at all, then you might not want to watch the review. Or go watch my other parts, which obviously are going to spoil it. It's the whole game, and then watch my review. But if not, and if you just want to hear the review, then I might as well just go ahead and get into it. It's already been a minute. So the beginning of the game, it starts off with, and that's how I'm going to tackle, by the way, the beginning, middle, and end of the game and stuff, then add on other details as I go through it. But so the beginning of the game, you start off in your cabin, you are called into Rennick's office, which is the boss of the oil rig you work on, because you back home before you accept this job were beating a man senseless or something like that. Now, obviously, the game, you're going to start off, you're going to be introduced to characters and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. The way they did it was pretty nice. It was optional to interact with some people or not. And then obviously once you interact with people, you'd recognize their names later on. Like Trots was one of the guys. I think I talked to Trots. And he obviously later on, this is a spoiler, he ends up dying and becoming a monster. So obviously I knew him because I talked to him in the beginning. Roy, I knew. Roy, spoiler, later on, Roy dies. I'll touch on that whole scene later on because that scene is done really well. So just like, yeah, obviously you unlock different, like Finley, but you unlock different like people you can talk to, and then if you choose not to, it's fine. It's not going to hurt your story any, because I didn't talk to everyone. But they did it in a nice way. The dialogue feels great. It actually feels like nice real conversations, real people, and it was just good. Well done. The game also visually is fantastic. I should have said that too. This game looks beautiful all throughout. It starts off really pretty in the like really good looking in the beginning, as you can see of the background gameplay. But towards the end, it gets so insanely pretty. I'll show a lot of examples of it at the end, but this game really does get insanely beautiful. Once you finish talking to those people, you go on the rig and you start talking to your boy, Rennick. He's not much of your boy, he's your boss. So as you're talking to Rennick, he gets real mad and someone calls him and he tells him to deep digging. And that's what starts the whole game, is they dig into like this water creature in the thing. Cool and all. Like it starts, ship shakes in a little bit, so you go outside because your boss is firing you, all that. So once you get outside, it shakes and all that stuff. So your buddy starts falling off the side of the oil rig, like this guy right here, and he might fall and he might die. You also fall, and then you end up waking up. But I'm not gonna go through the whole game like this and narrate it. I'm just doing this to explain the intro, because I think the introduction of this game, where I think the introduction stops, is when you first see a creature. I think that is like, or maybe when you fall. Like that's the end of the intro. You're actually getting into the game now, which I should say is the intro is a slow, steady start. Not really that slow, honestly, because look, I mean, you fell and this is happening to you now. So it's still not a slow start. It is a really nice, well-paced start. You have about 10 or 15 or so minutes of you just walking around, getting introduced to the place, chilling out. And then you have these little cutscenes like this. This is from your brain being absolutely damaged from that, from falling. So, I mean, yeah, it's good storytelling. You're getting to see Roy, which you saw in the kitchen, so you're understanding him more, and then Sue's your wife and why she's pissed at you for going on to the oil rig. This is a nice uphill game. Oh shit, kicked my mic. There's always something that's happening, and you're always going upwards. There's always a climax until the very, very end when it all stops instantly. I think the next thing I'm going to touch on is the monsters, when the monsters start being introduced, which I'll just do that now. So the first monster you get introduced to is Trots, the guy I was talking about in the beginning that I talked to. And he is just like a normal guy. He's like a crawler from zombies, basically. You'll see him in a second. There he is. Booyah, baby. He's like a little flesh monster. And this is how a lot of the monsters are in this game. They're just like mangled up people. And that's really what this whole like virus thing is. It really just messes people up, mangles them, makes them a lot bigger, makes them smaller. It's like the people are still there talking and have a little bit of like their mind left, but they can't do anything about it, and they're not controlling themselves. It's kind of like the type of the monsters. And the monsters, the design of the monsters, I'll show all the examples here in a bit, but the design of the monsters is so insanely good. They did a fantastic job with how they look. They look great. They look scary. I mean, not like a point where I'm going to be pissing my pants. Actually, I have to pee right now, so and you can tell I'm not peeing my pants. So they're not like pee pants level. But they're still like uneasy. You're gonna look at that guy and you're gonna be like, ugh, that guy looks kind of weird. I don't like that. Um, I have a couple complaints about the monsters though. The monsters, while they do look cool, the sound for them is great. They sound amazing. They they just don't. They're not much of a threat, if that makes sense. They really aren't scary, and like I know I just said they're still a little scary, and they are. The idea of them and the concept of them is, but the way they're executed isn't. All the monsters are like insanely slow. So here, let me show you another example of a different monster. So here's like a somewhat another example of the monster. You can't really see him right now. It's just, yeah, there he is, like a big guy outside. And the problem with all the monsters is this guy doesn't really have this problem as much because he is kind of a threat. Once he sees you, he is pretty fast. As you can see, he gets to you pretty fast. But I can't really say that about any of the other monsters. That you can outrun probably all of them. They are insanely slow. Like I'll show you another example of Trots later on when he chases you the second time, but they really are slow. And I know they obviously did that probably on purpose so you can focus more on the story than being like, okay, this is like Alien Isolation type stuff, dude. If I get spotted, I'm just instantly dead. Which I'm gonna go play back that game. So there's a little peekaboo of what I'm gonna be doing in the future. But this they're no threat. There's no like chance of you dying. No, I shouldn't say that. There is a chance you die to them, but it's not. You're not gonna feel threatened when you're going against them, and they're not really like gonna be like, oh no, this guy saw me, I'm gonna die. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna run over here and hide in this little cubby. And while that is good and it lets you focus on the story more, it has its downsides, obviously, because it's putting this massive threat of the story. Like, that's the main problem in the story. It's putting that massive threat down to be like, okay, I'll just run from it. It's not really much of a big deal. Instead of it being like, wow, that is like an insanely hard creature to get away from. And I see why these people are so scared from it. Before I keep showing you the other examples, actually, I probably won't. I feel like I've shown enough. You get the point I'm saying, and I don't really need to show you examples of it. They are really, really, all of them are very well designed. And if you want to see all of them, you can watch my parts for it. There's only like in total like 4 or 5, like 6 or so different creatures, I think, maybe 7. And like I said, beautifully they look fantastic, designed amazingly. But yeah, they're not really like a threat. This guy's probably the most threat you're seeing right now, this big blob. He's probably the most of all of them in being a threat, but still, like, I only died to him like twice, and one of them was just completely, they're both were stupidity on my end. But yeah, so great designs, fantastic designs, but man, they die pretty easily. And then also, speaking of something absolutely fantastic this game did, amazing this game did, is the dialogue. All of the characters who voice stuff here, like, I'll give you this example right here.
Oh, no, Ennis. He's gonna get split in half. Oh. Aw, it actually sounds sad. That's some good voice acting.
So you can hear me in the video even say, oh, he sounds so sad, because when Kaz says Christ Lord Jesus, he sounds like he is actually affected by seeing Ennis die in front of him. And it's little like dialogue like that, it really adds up in a game. And that's why people, that's why I love this game so much in like Firewatch, which I'll do a review on Firewatch when I finish that. That's why I liked Firewatch so much. The dialogue was amazing, and the dialogue in this game is really, really good, and it really did bring up my review on this game. If the if the dialogue was bad, the only thing this game would have had for it is the story and the visuals and the creature. It's a lot. Okay, it would have had a lot, man. But the dialogue just, it's really, really what made the game feel more like the game, if that makes sense. To have a good game, you need good dialogue, and this game had fantastic dialogue. All of the people who voiced in this game did an absolute 100 like A tier performance in their dialogue speaking. But I said I wasn't going to show you examples of the creatures. I will show you them. I'm going to show you all of them because why not? Okay, so this creature is the boss Rennick, and I mean, just look at it, bro. It's a massive face with a bunch of tentacles, arms, and stuff like that coming out of it. And I mean, like, bro, if you don't think that thing looks cool or creepy, then like I don't know what you're doing, bro. Like that thing looks sick. Obviously, some people will be like, "It looks stupid. It's so unrealistic." It's not supposed to be, obviously, bro. But it looks fantastic, dude. And they did stuff. And I know I said I was going to show you all of the people, but I take it back again. You can watch my videos. But yeah, so going more into this game, I want to touch on, because I touched on the dialogue, and I'll touch on it a little more later on, because it really does just keep going better and better the more the game goes on. And insane shout out to everyone who voiced, especially Kaz. Oh my god, it was so good, dude. But next thing I want to touch on is the visuals. The visuals in this game, I know I started saying at the beginning, but man, it gets so insanely good towards the end. And you've already seen, like, with this, the hallways are being crumbled. Like, that guy, like, you'll see, like, a bunch of examples of it. Like, all that, I'm just going to say flesh stuff. I know it's, like, not flesh, but it looks beautiful, dude. And I'll show you the couple highlights that I really started to point out when I was watching it. And, oh, my God, dude, it's so good. So here was a massive standout for me. This is more towards the end of the game. Like, I think this is like an hour before you beat it. But like, you see, like, there's the flesh is all over the walls, those particles, dude. Everything about it was so colorful. This game gets so insanely colorful, and I'm just gonna keep calling it the flesh. The flesh, the flesh just adds so much of a color pop to the game. Is basically what I'm trying to say. It really does take it from that dull oil rig feel, which obviously is great for the oil rig, and bring it more to life, whether that life is not the best life and kind of just takes away more life than it adds to it technically by killing everyone. It really just like makes it feel more, I don't know, I don't even know how to describe it, dude. This game visually is so pretty. It's an insanely beautiful game to look at. I'm going to show you a couple more examples because it really does just blow my mind away. I said it in one of my videos. I said, man, this flesh, because I was like, this just looks like a Call of Duty camo. I mean, hey, I got a point there, but yeah, I'll show you more examples now. I mean, this one is later on, you're outside, and it's just like this very vibrant red glow, and it's just like so pretty, and it's crazy. I'll show you in a second. Like, even this looks insanely pretty. You're underwater, the waves look pretty. Everything looks pretty about this. The lighting is perfect. This game has just insanely good visuals. I'm only going to give you 2 more examples, and I think the last example I'm going to show you is just one of the best visuals I've looked at in a game. It's so good. So, I mean, just looking at that, like, you can see how bright red it is, the lighting effects from the fire, the lighting effects from the red stuff. It's so pretty. If you give it a second, I'll look back at it. But, like, just look at it. It's so visually stunning. I don't know. I love color. I love when things are very vibrant, very saturated. Not too saturated, obviously, but, like, dude, the lighting effects it has with the shadows were perfect. Everything with this game visually is just fantastic. My last example I'll show you when I'm talking about the end, because if you've beat this game or seen the end of this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I want to give you one more example of the dialogue and how the dialogue was just so perfect. So the example I'm going to give you is Roy. This death scene, the dialogue gets so insanely good. I'm just going to let the whole scene play out.
Dead, dude. I would quit this game right now.
Roy, wake up, you prick! Please wake up. Wake up, come on!
He's awake. You just put it in his mouth. Whoa, the insulin.
Oh, you bastard. Don't leave me here.
He'll wake up, don't worry.
Man, come on back, Christ, don't leave me.
He's coming back, don't worry.
Don't leave me, I can't do this, man.
He's
I'm
fine.
fucking terrified.
He's coming back. Great voice acting, by the way.
What am I
Absolutely
gonna tell
fantastic.
Suze?
Aww. Oh man.
I mean, she's gonna fucking kill me, man, you know? She loved you, big man.
Aww.
She really loved you. So did my girls. Wait, what am I gonna tell them?
Aww.
Oh, sorry. Your Uncle Roy's not coming home. Aye, I know. Me and Ollie. I love this big man, do you hear me? I loved him.
Oh man. The music's great. This voice acting's fantastic, dude.
So yeah, I mean, that scene really does sell it a lot. There's another scene I was going to show you when Brody dies. Dude, dude, the voice acting just, it feels real. It feels like a real person. It's not like Call of Duty where if someone dies, they're like, "Oh no, Soap, we need to get back to the mission. We are leaving." It's not like they just don't care and they skip past it, which, I mean, when Ghost dies in the first one. Oh man. Ghost. And then when Soap dies, man. Soap. Those two are pretty good. Sorry, I got completely distracted. But yeah, so you can see like with Roy dying, the dialogue is fantastic. You can tell Kaz is shaken up. And you can tell from this point forward, in the story, his voice, he's more shaky. His voice was trembling. Is that a word to describe it? It's just everything about him is just like he's kind of just falling apart, and he's actually just getting sadder as the story goes on. He starts when the game first starts, he starts upbeat, he starts more happy. As the game gets later on, and he sees more of his friends just dying around him, you can really tell it's taking a hit on him, and his voice actor sells it amazingly. Like, it is literally perfect the way his voice actor did this, and you can tell in that cutscene, you can tell he's sad. He just lost Roy. He lost his best friend, and it really shows. Especially, I should have done examples of it in this phone call, but like later on, his voice, he's soft spoken. He keeps talking to himself about like his family, his Roy, his friends, how sad he's getting. That's a big footstep. Yeah, and the dialogue, it really carries the story a lot more too. Because if this dialogue wasn't as good, the story wouldn't be as good, honestly. If I really think about it, but the story is fantastic and the dialogue is fantastic, so it works perfectly together. But now I want to talk about just that direct ending, and this is probably the last thing I'll end up talking about. Except for the music. Actually, I'll just talk about that right now since you just heard some of it with Roy's death. The music is fantastic. Throughout this entire story, you have great, just amazing music. The only complaint about the music is that goddamn menu music, dude. It is so whatever the hell that was. It was so insanely loud, dude. And I really just, I don't know. A game with great music, great dialogue, great visuals is just a great game. I mean, the story obviously could be absolutely terrible, and it's not a good game, but the music in this game is so good, dude. It is fantastic. They really did such a good job with this game. This game really is just fantastic. I don't have many gripes with this game except for the enemies being, yeah, you get the point. But 2024, I said it actually right here in the part of the video, has been great for gaming, and this is definitely one of the games to add on there. Just a random game that came out in the middle of nowhere, and oh, dude, it's so good. But I'm going to talk about the ending now, because the ending, I really liked it. It was really good. Okay, before the ending, this is actually another great example of the dialogue, and I'll just let it play out.
Oh my god.
It's not possible.
You got your dive gear?
Aye,
So you can use that.
it's oil, Kaz.
That's true.
To be done.
Fucking say that.
I knew the risk when I came down here.
Fuck. Can I lose you as well?
No, we're not losing
I'm
you.
alright, Kaz.
No, you're not.
I'm already back on Sky.
Aw.
You've never seen water like that, Kaz. Clear. Peaceful. You just let go and everything's fine.
Aye. That sounds beautiful.
You go one day.
Aw.
Alright.
No, fuck that. I'm never swimming again after this.
Kaz, you and
Oh
Finley,
man.
you could do this, alright? I'm sure she wouldn't do something so stupid.
Brody, you there?
Kaz,
What's stupid? Talk to me.
it's getting higher.
Alright, I'm here, Brody.
Oh man.
Alright, I'm here. Brody. Oh, fuck. Brody.
Aw.
Jesus.
All right, so yeah, there. Oh, smacked my mic. So all right, yeah, so there, you can tell that was the dialogue feels so good. They go from happy, having a great moment together. The music's up, rising, and then it's all just that big fall. He starts getting sad and stuff. Dude, the music and dialogue are fantastic. I'm gonna stop talking about it as much because I keep hammering in on it. But dude, it's so good, dude. Oh my god. This entire game, there's so many examples like that, and I'm just going to give you those two because those are the most two memorable to me, except for the ending. The ending is, oh my god, dude, it's so good. But speaking of the ending, hell, I might as well go right to it, and I'll just spoil it now. Finley's dead. All right, so the ending, I mean, even this walk right here, you can tell, like, wow, that looks insanely pretty. I also still have to piss. Man, wow, I got to go. But
So your final okay, I'm just gonna explain the ending like I did at the beginning. The ending of the game is Finley comes with a plan to blow up the ship. That's not a ship. To blow up the oil rig because this whatever the flesh is taken over literally all of it. And their plan was to float it back to mainland, right? You know, just lay on it and wait till it gets to mainland. Well, Finley thought that if it gets to mainland, there's a chance it could spread. So why not just blow up the entire ship, killing everyone on it, and save up the entirety of the mainland, which is a great plan. Instead of having it spread to everyone, killing yourself and sacrificing everything and live so you die and everyone else lives, like it's great. That it is actually just like a good plan instead of trying to save it all. But as you can see, Kaz is the one who does the sacrifices. He finishes himself off, and everything on the oil rig is gone with him, gone in a blaze. And I don't think he's going to survive that. But with that being said, with the game just upright killing Kaz and killing everyone, well, obviously everyone's already dead by the time you kill yourself. But like watching them die, listening to them die, however they die, is fantastic. Most games nowadays, or I shouldn't say most, a lot of games, it's still about the same thing. They are afraid to kill their main characters and their side, well, it's not as much side characters, but their main characters. And I'm going to have to use Call of Duty as a modern example because with the new games, at least Modern Warfare sided, they're just too afraid to kill characters off, even if it's a bad guy that was introduced in that game. And I'm definitely not using Graves as an example, where you blow up the what the fuck is that called? The tank, and it just turns out he wasn't in it like 4 seasons after the campaign ends. So I don't really know. It's just games like that aren't afraid to kill your main character. They're just, you're not putting any like, because you know you're gonna go into this being like, okay, I'm just gonna have Captain Price who's gonna live the entire time. Nothing bad can possibly happen. Obviously, Modern Warfare 3, Soap dies, but like it's so abrupt and it doesn't accomplish anything, so it doesn't really matter. You don't feel it. The OG Modern Warfare is the OG Black Ops. You feel it when some of the characters die. I'm not gonna say anything just for no spoilers. I don't know why I've spoiled so much, but yeah. So with this game, them killing off characters and not being afraid to do it is great. Like Roy and stuff. It's obviously like you can probably predict they're gonna end up dying, and yeah, I mean I probably saw it coming, but like even still seeing it coming with it being that sudden and stuff, it's still like you felt it a little bit. You were like, wow. And with Kaz's voice being more shook, being more of everything, it just like it was truly a great, like it was great that they weren't afraid to kill their characters. And then also with the ending. So I'm dead right now, obviously. And people always say that you get a glimpse, well, like your life flashes before your eyes. Sorry, not a glimpse. And you have that, well, okay, that little glimpse of your life left. And that's what happens to Kaz. People were complaining about the ending, saying it was open-ended. There was no point to the game because obviously the whole game you're trying to survive and keep the oil rig alive. And on this, you blow up at the end. You just suddenly blow it up, and well, not suddenly. You just blow it up, and now you're just going back through and seeing kind of just your life basically. And I don't think that's open-ended at all. You're seeing Kaz dies, and you're seeing that tiny little glimpse of life left that he gets to see. I restarted from checkpoint because I didn't see his wife. I missed it and I messed up. But you're seeing that little glimpse of life that he gets to see before he's dying, and it's him in his bedroom the day he's leaving to go to the oil rig, and he looks at Suze, and he's leaving. Like that's what you're getting to witness is what he probably regrets the most, making that decision, leaving his wife. I didn't realize that was a picture of what Kaz looked like. Wow, that's sick. But yeah, and then at the very end you get this. I'll just let it play in the background since it's only dialogue.
I'm sorry it's been so hard.
That's what she said. So at the end you get this little bit of dialogue of Suze talking to you, like.
I know we will.
So during the game, you're fighting your wife. She's going to divorce you and stuff like that because you're just running and from your problems, and you're going on the oil rig away from them, missing Christmas with their family and stuff. And then at this, you see how she was actually just sad. She was sincere for how she's been acting to you. And Sue's like, I don't know, you really feel it. It's a good game. That's all I can really say. Suze, Oh man, it's good dialogue. This ending is genuinely, I think, fantastic. You're seeing what this guy is seeing before he dies, and it's great. I don't understand why people thought it was bad. You tried your best, but in the end, you just realized that none of it ever mattered. That you just failed. Yeah, like I said, he blew up, and I don't know. It's
Aw.
truly, truly good. You can see while I was playing. I was saying, "Oh, it was nice." But yeah,
Man.
I don't know what else to say. I'd definitely just say that the music for this game is great. The dialogue for this, everything about this game was fantastic, except for those little bit of the enemies I was talking about. But that doesn't matter. People could complain it's a 4-hour short game. Like I said earlier in the video, I would rather have 4 hours and it'd be absolutely great than have like 20 hours and it'd be terrible. And there still can be great long games, don't get me wrong. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about this game. If I had to give it on a scale of 1 to 100 like I did to my other games, honestly, I might just have to give this game like a strong 90. It really, really is just fantastic. There's no game, by the way, that I review that's ever going to hit 100. There just isn't. There's always going to be a little flaw, and even if there is no flaws, there's not. Perfect is subjective. It's not, and nothing's ever going to be perfect, because in my mind, like, I'm not going to replay this game probably for like the longest while, which obviously doesn't mean it's not perfect, because they don't make the game thinking you replay it a bunch. And I know there are people who's going to replay this game like 100 times. That's just with every game. So there's not ever going to be a perfect score. But 90 is maybe the closest we'll get. Firewatch will come really close to this when I review that. But yeah, this game really was fantastic. It was so much fun to record, so much fun to play. And thank you guys so much for the support on my series of this. It really means a lot. And just support in general on the channel lately. So yeah, I'd give it a 90 out of 100 on the chopping block. But just let me know what solo games you want to see me play. Let me know what challenges you want to see me do in games. What movies you want to see me watch and review. Hell, I'll do anything at this point. I don't really care. I just want to do whatever with this channel. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll catch you in the next review, the next gameplay game, or whatever it is. Have a great rest of your day. Make sure you subscribe if you like the video. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Have a good day!